Just call him right
Well,
now.
gentlemen.
Do it.
That being said, I want us to return to that room. The snow slowly drifting outside its eaves. The dust of the days previous settling quietly as the winds subside, turning to cool, still night. And there, resting for the evening, are a collection of adventurers, heroes, miscreants, maybe just people caught at the wrong time in the wrong place, struggling together to make sense of everything around them. Last session, Valeth had been questioned concerning the nature of her relationship with Torin, the extent of her knowledge about his whereabouts, about his intentions, about his plans, as well as, well, through that interrogation, it became clear that she was less than a willing participant in whatever odd group he's assembled of gifted and bright and powerful individuals. And instead she is somehow bound to him by some dark pact. There were other revelations through that conversation, some more important for individuals than others. But at the end, the general question remained: what to do with the Tells? What to do with Durgan? And so the peaceful, serene night enclosed around the tired party, and they all, one by one, drifted off. Except, of course, Aramor, who stayed, looking out to the starlight, pondering his interaction with the light. Curious about the new will that drives him. But the sun did come up, and does every day. A new dawn. The snow remained on the eaves outside and on the ground around in the town or the city of Basikal. But the chills abate slightly as the sun slowly begins to creep above the gray-brown mountains and peeks its way through cracks and crevices and the angles of the range itself, and begins to warm the valley slowly but surely as it works its way down and over the city. A new day. What will the Riven Vanguard do?
Just a point of order. Since it's a long rest, do we get our 4 points back?
Yes, you do, actually. I'll actually allow you guys to distribute these amongst yourselves. Everybody's still up in that upper room. The small tavern that has been hosting you guys really is just a singular stairwell that leads up into it, like a small landing, and then has like a low creaked hallway that runs for about 15-20 feet, and then on the other side of it's lined doors. There's about 4 or 5 doors, and you guys have taken up the very end, the last 2 rooms, in between which you guys have been traveling the night before. What are you going to do?
Is Torrent's device still active and negating all the weave and
I mean, Winnie.
Yeah, Winnie. Sorry.
Yeah. So the radio. You can ask him.
I would probably feel it immediately upon waking.
Or yeah. So actually, you feel the sense of weave now. So you know that his dispel, which is not a device, you cast a thread itself, has waned and faded now, and then at some point.
I get up, still battered and broken from yesterday, obviously. Not fully healed. But definitely feeling the effects of the potions that Kyle has given me and the healing that Aramor gave me. And I try to find Dirt. No, he'll probably be up somewhere.
It doesn't take you very long. It's just as your eyes flicker up and kind of see your breath kind of frosting in the air. This like night, like thin gray blanket that's over you, kind of like thrown there. You look around, you see Durgan. He's kind of leaning weakly up against the windowsill, head kind of against this, molded glass. It's kind of unclear.
Is there anybody else? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Just breath coming rapidly, just misting the glass. Everybody else seems to be asleep at the moment.
Try to get his attention without waking up.
He looks over. Nods to you.
I motioned for him to follow me outside of the room so I won't wake up everyone.
Kind of sighs. Makes his way, follows you outside. Leans in the hallway against the wall.
I know that you need healing. To be rid of this insidious plague. I know you want to be rid of this. I know you think the Bright Queen Knight will heal you. We have intentionally postponed retrieving the tablets or the tells for the Bright Queen. In light of the fact that we know that she will not, I believe, fulfill this promise. The sole purpose for me to come down here, the Chain King, was to retrieve the tells and take him away from Torn, who we knew was searching after, or so we thought. Of course. It tricked us all, but that's besides the point. The Bright Queen will not heal you. I know we made a deal with her.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I do.
He's just tired. He's weary. It's the only chance I have.
No, it's not. It is not the only chance you have.
What other?
We can seek insight. And maybe even clues about a cure. I know this seems optimistic, but how would the Queen, from any of the other powerful weavers sitting on the High Council, be able to rid you of your problem?
You just like, look. You're asking me to delay more.
It's not delay. It would take this same
You're
time.
asking me to die. If you're asking me to wait, I can't do this anymore. He won't let me.
What does he want you to do? Does he want you to go to the Bright Queen?
Make persuasion.
Would you charisma?
Yes, charisma.
Is his grand total 7.
7. Sorry, it's a tad loud.
Thank you.
You don't need to know, it's none of your business. You are not my ruler. It's like, I don't think, you have no claim over me. In any world, I do what I want with my body.
With your body, of course. But you are talking about something I fought for and bled for and nearly died for.
You just... But we should address the rest of the group then. You're not the one making the last decision.
I know I'm not, and that's why I'm addressing you personally.
What would you have me do? Orphaness.
I would have you take in other options before resorting to the Bride Queen and taking whatever toll she requires. Whatever that might be when we meet her wherever she puts us, and I bring out the tablet. This might take us to the deepest, darkest parts of the Underdark. We have no idea what we're walking into. All she said was that she would meet us somehow and give her exactly what she wants.
To the tells. She wants the tells. So we have the tells. Why don't we just give her the tells? Why won't you let us give her the tells? Can you use them? Do you know how?
I have not studied it in the slightest.
It's very
We don't know what we're giving her. You don't know.
I know what I feel. He is. You can tell he's furious, and you get the sense of just weary betrayal on his face. Just like, I know what you and the rest of those people in there told me we were going to do. And now you're saying no because you're scared. I understand that, but I know what I feel. You don't know what kind of... You don't know what this is like.
No, I don't.
So you don't... I can't force you. I can't force you. I can only beg to keep your word. To follow the original plan. To give me a chance.
Then, if we do so, I think we should think ahead and be smart about it. If the others agree with you.
It's not their choice. How could it be their choice? How? I'm the one in torment. How could it be their choice? He just turns and kind of stumbles towards the stairs. Tries to make his way back down to the main floor. He stops at the top of the stairs and looks back. You are ruled by fear of what you don't understand. Don't blame me because I'm afraid of what I don't understand.
I am afraid of what I know.
But you don't, Walter, you don't. And he just starts making his way down the stairs. Breath kind of catches rapidly in his breath. Making his way down.
I am going to find a... I'm gonna leave the tavern.
Okay.
taking with me the tablets.
All of them?
Well, the both of them. Yeah, I'm
You
going
need
to take
both?
both of the
tells?
The tells.
The tells.
The
Okay.
tells.
Not the.
Well, I have one of that tablet on me too, but I'm not.
Everyone. Actually, all the party members do have one.
They do all
They all.
individually.
Yeah. Were you the one who had the tells? Both the tells?
Yes. And the stones.
Okay.
I am going to. I'm gonna walk out into the street.
Does anybody want to be awake for this as well? Would I think Davian?
Okay.
Did you make a? Are you trying to do stealthily or quiet?
No, not at all.
Okay. Dave, would you just go ahead and roll this and notice check for me?
Gotcha.
It's D13.
It's 14.
Okay. So if you actually, and you can too as well. I left one if you want to make a notice check.
That is not going to cut it. That's a total of 9.
Okay. You're still sleeping. Maybe your eye flickered open and stopped and you just didn't think anything of it. But if you want to do anything about it, you can. Damien. You see Orphan is kind of gathering his stuff together, maybe throwing on the overcloak and grabbing his staff.
I'm gonna go ahead and follow him out.
Okay, are you doing it quietly or?
I'm gonna go quietly.
Are you trying to stay hidden?
No, just coming after him. I'm just going outside the room first. So.
Yes.
Where are you going?
We're behind.
To the library. I'm going to see if I could find any libraries. I know it's a mining town, but I know it's a temple as well here.
Mhm.
So I'm more looking for something on the divine nature of lore keeping or something like that. That there might be something inside this town.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a investigation check, please.
Absolutely. That is 14.
14. Okay. As you step out into, are you following him, David, as well, or you just?
I just want to see where he's going.
Okay. So as he kind of makes his way down the stairs, Dirk at this point is just sitting now by himself at a table in the corner. Just he looks up, kind of regards you guys as Orphanus long strides. Makes his way out to the dust and the dust and the dimness of the morning light. The snow drifts very gently coming down, almost a light gray with pops of that morning sky coming through it, of the clouds and the morning sky, and then to the west side of the bowl that you guys are in, of the mountain bowl, you see the beginnings of the sunlight starting to touch the opposites of the mountains as the sun rises in the east. It kind of just starts coloring that side. And, there's some lights along the broad dirt street that have been kind of turned on, maybe shopkeepers, innkeepers, different merchants, bakers, leather tanners, whatever. They're turning on the lights for the morning, getting ready. There's not many people in the street at all. Everything's very quiet and low. It's probably around maybe 4:30 in the morning at this point. You kind of walk your way out. Basikal itself is not a massively expansive place. The tavern that you guys are staying at is actually probably maybe like a half, maybe like a couple hundred yards up the street from the temple that you guys are at. But upon looking around for a little bit, you find yourself back in front of the temple. The massive pillars almost come out of place in the quaint little city. Marbled shaped pillars rising up in this almost Greco-Roman temple-like structure. Maybe about another 30 yards past the temple, there's quite literally a hole just that erupted from a courtyard that was a stablery or some kind of an equestrian holding place. A massive hole of stone just had erupted, and rubble and stuff went everywhere. You see where little black patches where fire was and been put out and extinguished the night before, and you'd seen kind of how the earth kind of slid inwards through the hole itself. as a whole, over the entirety of the courtyard kind of has sloped inwards, and the cobbles are now obviously all warped and changed, and crumbled rocks and things like that. Some smashed buildings. Yeah, the hole's huge. But none of the actual temple, because after you guys had entered the actual temple, you guys went down as well. Actually, you guys entered. You didn't even enter through the temple itself. You entered through a different building, and then you went through a secret place to go into the temple, or to the lower section where the chain king was.
Yeah.
But as you walk in, the doors are open, as they always are. Massive black steel doors open into completely clear marble floors, or clean marble floors that stretch across again to probably like a sizable building, about the size of All Saints Foyer, with a vaulted ceiling as well. And at the end, the image of Borikon, the god of the forge, standing there. And next to it, as you kind of just, your heels make a loud clicking noise as you make your way into the marble floors. You see a small figure covered in snow white, kneeling in front of the massive statue of Borikon. This small bowl of, well, maybe it's incense. Going up to the left, a pitcher of some kind, a very ornate pitcher, and a goblet, stone goblet next to it. Kneeling down.
I look around at this expansive hall and its luxury. I note the form of Borikon, familiar with his with him and what he stands for. But I'm more interested in any tapestries or lore or anything that might anoint the walls or line the shelves of books or anything on this.
It's ultimately, this place is a chamber of worship. There's no, other than Borikon's, the image of Borikon himself, and obviously him holding both the forge and the hammer across his chest, and the strange ornate beard with the 5 symbols of rings on his beard, and then you have the 5 elements on his beard as well. He holds the other than that, there's no tapestries or anything like it. It's a completely like a slab of beautiful, perfectly level marble.
Gotcha.
And the ceiling is, again, it's not vaulted. It's beautifully, perfectly level marble as well. It's pretty raised, but it's not a vaulted ceiling like a triangle. Just how Borikon, it's supposed to simulate the experience of being underground in some ways. So
I am going to. Is there any pews or anything?
yeah, so there's on the ground. There's laid out little rugs, so little unadorned mats, basically just sheep's cloth, just thrown on the ground. The idea is, of course, obviously you would know this, but people who come and they pray, they give up their offerings, they make dedications, but it's a very private experience. They come to be nearer to the presence or the idea of the image of Borikon, because hypothetically that's supposed to enhance your ability to commune with him. But they don't do it as in a corporate way, like pews would be used for. It's supposed to be private, individual.
I'm going to find one of these and sit cross-legged on it. Pull out the 2 tells that we brought from under and set it in front of me. And I'm going to start using weave to see what I remember from last 2 sessions ago how it was this swirling darkness of infinite power that when I sensed the last, but
Not infinite power.
no, not infinite, just but very, very powerful.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's unidentifiable. Its means and tenets are unidentifiable. So as you sit and you look at these black glass slabs with perfectly fine, refined edges. Maybe about yay big, maybe a foot by half a foot. You reach out. Can you make a weave check?
That is 20.
Is a dirty 20?
No, dirty 20.
I would say that as you reach out to the Phelan gift again and kind of force the threads around kind of to understand and extrapolate and stretch and kind of see and pull back the veil of what's underneath. It's too tight, it's woven too closely. You still get the same just dark, not eternal, but weirdly unidentifiable, like forever distant, and yet ever present energy, sensation. It's almost like you're touching something that's not weave, but is similar. That's about all you talk.
Does that fit the description of? I know that in my time in Sarian, I was probably explained a fair amount, or probably was taught a fair amount about astral weave.
Okay.
But I obviously didn't pursue that. So would I liken it unto something that how a professor would describe the in-between places?
Make it. I'm torn between knowledge and lore. Just go ahead and make or knowledge and weave. Go ahead and make a knowledge check.
Okay. I have lore still, that's old. Would this qualify as arcane history?
Sure.
Okay.
Try to be a
Natural 20.
natural 20. Cool. So as you're racking your brain, and that still quietness and the smell of the incense, you remember there it was. Kanan's class. I hated that class. It was the most boring class in the entire. It was the nature of weave sensations. And you blocked out basically everything. You barely passed the class, but you blocked out everything that of his lectures, but you just recall it. You remember. He's sitting, it's a disheveled, I think Einstein hair kind of looking gnome. And now, when we're talking about the sensation of other forms of natural manipulation and power, we're going to be listing out these different distinctions. Pull out a long ruler and taps 12 different words that mean nothing to you. Of course, if you've done your reading, you'll be aware of all these 12 distinctions and how important they are to each of the individual experiences. Kind of trundles over to his apple on the desk and over. I expect all of you to have a very versed knowledge of all these 12 distinctions prior to our next test that will be this next coming day. Now, moving to the expedition. He kind of looks, hello, welcome in. And you see a collection of different, more higher, more advanced weavers kind of step in and settle in the back. They have their notes and their slate pads out. Now kind of settling. Welcome to our class about the experiences of weave. You get the sense that he's starting to feel really nervous, but he kind of looks over his class notes. We were just from the back say, carry on as normal, please. Just, of course. In fact, you kind of get the feeling that he's trying to impress whoever just walked in. Like he needs to make a good showing for his tenure to continue. He says, yes. Goes over to the board. Erases everything. Just stands there at the board for a second. Half the class is asleep at this point. They're not even paying attention. But for whatever reason today, you were. Looks at the board. Now, what we were talking about were the ancients.
it is to be different from nature. Underlines it. I've been it. You remember everything about the lecture.
And he went on to describe the idea and concept of the ancients, at least to the knowledge, the limited knowledge of people within them. And he suggests his own research that indicates that the ancients interact on a different plane of reality than those even of the Titans. And thus, the relics that are created by, for, and with the ancients will be altogether mysterious in their nature when reached out to interact with the reef. And on the natural 20, you feel like this fits the bill perfectly. Hello.
And everything kind of rushes back to me. I retrieve the weave and I kind of almost, I just see who it is.
It's the white-robed figure now standing in front of you, carrying his incense. It's a short dwarf, of course, with a white-gray beard, a really weather-faced, bright green eyes, and kind of like bent-down spectacles, like gold spectacles that go on his head. He's got his white cloak over his back, and he's got a hemp rope tied around his waist. It's cinched, got a little bit of belly too big. And he says, "Hello.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
I haven't seen you around here."
I'm passing through.
Here, patron.
No.
My name's Dreek. What's yours?
Orphanis.
Pleasure to meet you, Orphanis. Extend your hand in the classic dwarf greeting.
Nice to meet you, Greek. Dreek.
It's Dreek. Oh, it's fine. My own mother got mistaken for most of my life. Don't see many people around here. It's a mining city. Expected there to be more devotees of the mining god. Kind of said sounds in a sense.
Deities seem to be forgotten more and more, and I guess I can't trail off with my own thoughts.
Kind of whistles. Well, that got deep. Yeah, I guess they do. Anyway, if you want any food, I got some in the back.
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, for sure.
I could try to find somewhere in this city where it's quiet.
Well, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to intrude. And he starts shuffling back. Forgets his incense, kind of shuffles back towards you, picks up the incense. Just gotta be first light soon. Gotta start my morning vigil. Started trundling his way back to where he pointed to the food. Were you looking for something in particular then? Comes back to you. You said you weren't really a follower of the patron, and you're here. You said peace, but that's rarely what people are looking for.
I'm looking for knowledge.
Got no knowledge.
One knowledge that prescribes some meaning to the other planar existences that are outside of the realities of the Titan's embrace.
You see, it's kind of like his face kind of screw up a little bit. He's like, well, that is most definitely above my pay grade. I hope you find that out. And good day to you. And Mr. Trundle, I gotta go do my morning vigil. Trundling his way. As he passes the great statue of Boricon, he stops and bows his head. I'm kind of embarrassed. You gotta hear the echoing through the building.
Stupid place. Thought there'd be people who wanted to see Boricon.
Trolling his way back to the kitchen. I'm sure he wants some food.
I, having broken my concentration, pick up both the tablets and realizing the connection that with the work, maybe a distant connection, but it is a connection that forms in my mind of the work of Prince Elgaden. And I'm going to put away the tablets and head back to the inn.
Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything?
When I wake up, I'm going to go check on. I forget her name. Lilith, yeah, to make sure that she's still here. And to check in on Aramore.
He finds me inside there with Aramore.
I mean, Bayless is still there. She's kind of still crumpled up in a ball, exhausted, tired, and still sleeping soundly. Aramore is still sitting pretty nonchalantly and yet somehow remaining reverent in his cross-legged figure in the center of the room.
I'm going to try and at first just mentally place where I might have, what I might know about the situation Baylith is in.
Okay, you're talking about which situation in particular?
With Torn being bonded to him.
Okay. Could you go ahead and make a... Yeah, go ahead and make a lore or knowledge check.
Alright, so here we go.
You also might want to put it
18.
looped inside the track so it doesn't go play random songs.
Is it 18?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And again, one more thing. What were you trying to ask you?
I'm trying to ascertain basically any knowledge I have or potentially past experience with things like this or this specifically, but more probably would, yeah, just.
Okay. I will say, not this specifically, but maybe in your dreams, maybe in your first 5 seconds of thinking, of waking moments, you're not sure, it kind of muddles together for you. But you have a flash of memory again, of something being used on House Al-Krakin. A high blood had attempted to make a pact between you couldn't remember, either it was a wife or a husband or their child in a more closer relationship, to bind them together, to make them more, their lives more linked. Of course, it went bad. And the exact nature of how it went bad, you're not sure of. But it resulted in one or both of the two dying. But the exact weave that was used was reminiscent of the Gwydir wards. The idea of keeping in, the binding in, and interconnecting a nature of something. But of course, you kind of shake your head. You're not sure if that's something that is comparable to this. This seems to be different. As in your history, that would be the only thing that really would correlate to this. This is pretty other.
So I don't get the feeling that the thing with Durgan is similar at all.
I think think that on 18 you would probably get the sense that the concepts are similar. But obviously there's different symptoms. You yourself had very intimate, close interaction with the symptoms of Durgan's issues. You even interfaced with him as when you dream stepped, with whatever entity it was that was indwelling in him. But you get the sense that that is much more either pervasive or controlling than whatever's on Valeth. Valeth is, other than the tattoo itself, is not displaying any signs of external ailment or, constant having to interact with whatever entity or person, in this case Torin, who had bound to them. So it seems to be a very different, much less of a two-way mental discussion and more some kind of a different binding.
Do I, on an 18, do I get the impression that if I were to, say, I don't know, use Dream Step, that I would be able to have some access to Torin?
You know, use some try. But it doesn't seem to be the same kind of experience of binding.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go downstairs and I see Torin. I see Durgan at the table, and I'm going to walk over, sit down. Good morning.
Morning. Are you here to tell me we're not bringing the task to a total? Because one of your bastards already did that.
I know. Last night, that was made. I was privy to that discussion last night, but over the time you've been with us, or I've been with y'all more accurately, I've grown fond of all of you, especially. And I suppose part of that might have been being inside your head twice. But
You laugh with confidence.
I genuinely do care about you. And I am emotionally invested in you.
In the most flat and Kyle way possibly say.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. You are emotionally invested.
Are you sure you don't have that charisma?
Yeah.
Kyle turns on the wrist.
Now, I realize the value that you have brought, and that you, without this, the value you would bring. That Orphanus had a point. Listen,
It's about this time I'm gonna come downstairs and join him.
alone. We have very, very powerful things. Whether or not we can use them, we have responsibility. Now, I don't know where I stand, but I don't want. I don't want me to make an irrational decision.
Look, the tells are
David at
means.
this point
Yeah, I've come down. I've been.
slides in, pulls up a chair.
The tells are a means to an end. We've already discussed that end, and we're gonna uphold our agreements to the Queen. They're no more than that. And if we want to save Durgan, which I assume is what we want to do,
Of course.
then we must give up the tells, no matter the cost. Because if we don't give up those tells, Durgan is gonna die. Or at least suffer a hell of a lot more.
Finally, somebody says something I've been thinking.
I will take him.
Understand.
We don't have enough time to discuss this.
At this point, also the innkeeper and his wife, and you hear the kitchen fires kind of turn on, and you hear buckets of water being splashed in, and stuff getting crinkled around. The smell of fires getting stoked and started for the day, as the innkeeper and his wife begin to, and their little, what looks to be either their child or their scullery boy, kind of scuttling around the actual main room, kind of wiping up tables, scooting around, sweeping nothing, just kind of fixing things and kind of get busy as they kind of start getting ready for the day.
Alonal has imprisoned Oceaneater. We know this, and we know that she has the ability to save Durgan.
I hope.
Durgan kind of leans in and he says,
If we don't do anything,
Torrin said she didn't.
Torrance lied to us.
I know he has.
He's betrayed
I
us.
don't trust him. But I'm not sure if I trust Alona either.
Doesn't matter.
Durgan kind of just sits back and he's like, so, let me get the logic straight here. Putting aside the fact that I'm in excruciating pain. The reason we're not going to Alonal and not upholding the end of the deal that we made with the Bright Queen is because you don't trust her.
I'm not making that decision. I don't know where I stand as of right now.
So if you don't know what you are or what decision you're trying to make, why would we not default to our original plan and get me better?
At this point, Orphanus opens up the door.
Come back inside from
I'll
the...
walk straight to the table and plop down a single tablet, one of the tells, onto the table right where everybody's gathered.
One of the tells?
Just one of them.
Okay.
So, we give her one. I keep one. She gets one.
I don't think that's gonna fly.
Why not?
Because she knows what tells we're in with the Chain King.
Does she?
Does she?
As far as we know.
Durgan kind of sees
Brilliant.
her option. These options kind of opening up now. And leans in.
And this is too much to be given away. I don't think you really know the implications that this holds for us.
Durgan is like, I don't really care about any of that, honestly. I just want to get better. I want to get him out of my head. I want to get these things off of me. I want to be better.
This is what's going to happen. I'm gonna take Durgan to the Bright Queen. I'm gonna give her the tells. She's gonna help him, and we'll come back. I'm gonna need...
You'll need me. You don't know any of the customs or formalities to address the Bright Queen.
That might be an advantage. Durgan.
I don't think
I
so.
need that Banfin ring.
What needs?
Or a Banfin ring. Because how are we gonna get it back out of there?
Okay, whoa. He's just like... Because it's like... Clearly just shocked at this whole change of fate. Like, hope given back to him, and then also just like the idea of trickery and then the implications of it. He's just kind of overwhelmed. Durgan kind of rests back a little bit.
Where's Animal?
I'm gonna come down too as well.
We don't have time to be sitting around. We need to be doing something. And now that we have the chance to do something, we're not doing anything.
And I'm gonna come downstairs too.
Left kind of just make your way downstairs. Okay. You see just like the collection of these guys just all in the corner. This small table slowly getting dominated by more and more of these people. Bedraggled, bloody, kind of just battered. You know, some of them probably have their weapons still on them. Kind of sitting around this table now.
We have one problem though. Oh, no, we have one from the bottom. But what are we going to do with Bailiff?
Set her free. She's no use. Kill her. We don't need her. Unless she's got more information to hide. What would you suggest?
I do not suggest. I'm merely stating.
I don't think there's much trouble about it.
At this point, the little scullery boy kind of comes up and tugs on Lufflin's back pocket.
Hello, sir.
Yes?
Are you going to be wanting any breakfast, sir?
I suppose so.
Okay. Do you all want the breakfast this morning?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. I'm not so hot on the numbers. How many of them are there?
I think there's 6 of us right now.
7.
6.
Including Durgan
Yeah, including
and Gornek.
Gornek, yeah, that's 6. There's 6. It's Airmore for 7. 8.
Wow.
Bailiff.
This is like the scene when you're in the van going to McDonald's. You're like,
How many of us saw?
no, I don't want the cheeseburger anymore. I want the chicken sandwich.
Sirs?
These are just all like looking around. This is the 7 of
That's 7. That's 7.
Terrible, and it's not coming. He's just very confused. Like, kind of
Does he want to eat?
There's 7.
There's 8. Down to make them 8.
8.
Clearly,
There are 8. We have people
7
upstairs.
or 8?
8. We
8.
have people upstairs.
8, okay. That's going to be 8 copper pieces, please, then, sirs.
Ooh.
most loaded people in all of us.
Joel, use your charisma. I made him make this. I give him 8 copper pieces.
Joe goes,
It's like, how about instead of that, I tell you how much you pay on the
to him. He whisks it away. He whisks it away and kind of stands there still looking at you.
I give him a gold coin.
He just eyes just go so wide. He's just like as soon as instead of like standing around though, he whips it, it's gone, and he just
Does spin.
hit him away.
more money than that kid has ever had in his life.
And he walks and says,
They gave me 8. They gave me 7 copper pieces.
he runs back.
That's it.
Oh, we need 8 meals, so that.
Then okay.
Totally cheat this out.
Sorry. Alright, as you you guys continue. The sound. As you guys continue talking throughout this time, you're gonna have some people, before they still clean miners who have bathed the night before, coming in to get some food before they head out. Getting some water, filling their water pitchers up, because ultimately this is obviously a tavern or an inn, but it's most importantly a water depot for workers who are going down to the mines. So they come and they'll fill up their pitchers for a couple pence pop. And they'll fill up 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 canteens, and they'll be carrying those for the day, because they'll be deep within the mountains. They don't have to come back and forth, but that's what most of these taverns are actually used for. Yes, of course there's grog, and yes, of course there's ale and all that kind of stuff, and the normal things, but it serves 3 square meals a day. It's a water depot. So you have lots of different sizes, shapes, walks of life, skinny, tall, bedraggled, clean-shaven, well-looked, well-dressed, more poor-looking miners, all of them, coming in throughout this time, shuffling, costing some pence, and you're surprised that such a small inn gets as much business from the quiet little city as contrary to what it appears. But let's continue. So Gornak makes his way as well down the stairs to the small little table that is surrounded by all these people. You have 8 bowls of breakfast porridge with some sides of some kind of egg, and then a little bit of like mush chicken or something like that into a side bowl. It's got like seasoning like with spices and like spring dew spices and things like that. And then obviously water is supplied to all of you as you guys sit around the table. I'm assuming you continue to talk.
If we go in, we need to make assurances with this second tell. Such as we obviously can't take it with us.
That's right.
To say that we're all going. I'll take Durgan.
That means we'd be split up for weeks, months, however long to travel.
Or not.
We don't have a bamfing ring.
On cue, when he makes his way as well. Stretching. Aramore's still up with Valeth in the room. But when he kind of... hello! As he makes his way down to the first landing.
Good morning.
All the way down to
I appreciate the spell last night.
Yes, of course. Makes his way over to your table. He knows there's not a lot of room, so kind of just pulls a chair and sits down. Folds his arms. Looks like y'all had breakfast.
Working on it.
Is there any more? He looks over at the unused bowl. Thank you. Takes it.
We'll just get another one. It's fine.
Okay. When he kind of looks around. Yeah, at this point again, there's still just these people constantly coming in. Just noises now. People sitting down, loud people yelling, talking, laughing before they're going to work. The latecomers chilling on tables, drinking lots of water, eating a bunch of porridge, laughing it up, yelling at each other. Some dice being thrown, some bone games being played. There's an assortment of about a dozen tables in this little place. They pack it all in together. And again, it's busier than it would be expected. And the sun at this point is rising higher and starting to bathe the entirety of the city of Basikal. And the drifted snow is almost completely gone, and the clouds have kind of burned away into a very bright, kind of dark blue, clear morning sky.
I say to Winnie, when are you thinking of leaving for the High Council?
When he kind of leaves back, he's like,
Oh, man. Well, I was going to leave today. Probably around noon, if I can. That'd be okay. And I'll be taking what you gave me. No objections to that still, right?
We made a deal.
Good. Of course, deal, yes. I know. Right. But again, we made a deal originally and you wanted to go back on it and it was...
What if we made another deal aside from the other one? We need to borrow your bamfing ring again.
my bamfing ring.
That's right.
What do you mean borrow? Because usually when you borrow my bamfing ring, that means I go with people.
Well, I mean, unless you would trust us to take it on our own, bring it back to you.
I don't think that's how bamfing works. I think you have to have some specialized knowledge.
Thank you for that flattery. And
I asked you about it previously, and that's what you said.
you were absolutely correct. I was not correcting you at all. You're not wrong. But I also appreciate you speaking up.
I know how bamfing rings work.
Good to know.
Pardon me.
Good to know.
Don't mean to be patronizing. He kind of just... Ugh.
There's always something else to do with you.
Oh. Will I ever be rid of you?
Not that you're bad company, I love you. You are wonderful people, really, really wonderful people. Sure, yes. If I can get back today, I suppose I would be okay. Where are we going?
To the Bright Queen.
Yes, straight answer. His eyes just kind of like grow up wide, and he's just like.
take Durgan and give her.
Oh dear.
Like,
That's not a day trip. I thought you were looking like, oh, can you take us down to the place in Verona or up to Andrea or somewhere? Or, I don't know.
Well, we need to get back from there. We have the means by getting there. If we use your bamfing ring, we can get back within the day.
that's assuming there's
That's
a bamfing.
twice then, not once. You need to use it twice.
No, it would be once. We have the means of getting there already.
Oh. Oh. But I need to stay with you to get you out. He kind of just looks laughing. He's like, do you see my dilemma?
My mind, when you say I'd like to use the vamping ring, says we'd like to bring you somewhere, leave you there, and then I can go somewhere else. But really, what you're asking me is to be your public transport, to be your carrier.
Or you can lend us your bamfing ring.
He takes it, actually takes it off, just drops it on the counter. And it's a heavy ring. It's kind of ornate silver with a single black jewel at the top. Not obsidian, something else. It has a little bit of hint of red in it.
Go ahead, use it. Orphans, try it. Please.
Chuck tucks it over to you.
I know the dangers of a bamfing ring when I see it.
Oh, okay. But I was... I thought you didn't for a second, because you keep asking me to use it. Takes it. Thank you.
Moreover, that plan wouldn't work. We don't even know if there's any bamfing rings inside the Underdark. Or at least available to the public without any extricating from.
He actually leans over and he's like, even more to the point, actually.
How about you, in making whatever deal you make with Alona so that she heals Durgan, include in it getting back. She has the power to bring us there with these. Maybe try.
But what want would she have to bring us back?
She wants the tells.
And that's part of the deal about helping Durgan. It's not. It wasn't anything about bringing us back. She
As soon
could.
as Durgan's here, healed. I mean, Leffin's right. She has no obligation to us.
She could leave us in a deep. pit
Unless
But
we
those...
continue getting towels for her.
We are not
One-
making a long contract, bound to the Queen, giving her
We
the
don't
power
have
of the
to.
world.
We don't have to.
We make a deal and
Precisely.
don't, and just not show up.
Sounds like you've got yourself in a bit of a pickle here.
What kind of a deal did you make?
I'll look at Durgan. I'm not sure.
Can I say one metagame thing out of character?
Absolutely.
So you know how we talked about bringing her one, even though we have two. You know how she can hear everything we say on those.
Well, we don't know
Tablets?
that for a fact. We just assumed that.
She said.
No, we just assumed that. She never actually did anything about that.
Okay.
To be a little metagamey myself, I did not correct you guys with that false assumption.
Wait,
You guys definitely just assumed that. And
was it not, what's her name?
Oh.
The younger
Adam.
Evelyn that said that? Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, conversation with you. And by the way, well, that's totally fine. By the way, with that kind of that's good. That's good interjection.
I'm that conjecture actually. I probably would have studied these tablets, them being on me, unless obviously I didn't.
I was gonna say in game you haven't done that yet. To be fair,
Okay. Or at least I wouldn't. I don't remember me doing it. So.
you're welcome to.
It's another day. We have to bring at least one of these tells back, so as to help Durgan. That's not just the deal we made with the Bright Queen. That's the deal we made with Durgan. And if we are to keep our word and uphold what we say, and then and to help Durgan as well, majority, we need to bring at least one
Back kind of leads in. He says, "Well,
Wendy, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're obviously not too terrified to vamp yourself. You do it all the time. You vamp the toss. You want the vamp back to wherever the council's being held. Why all of a sudden this hesitation?
When you kind of. I don't believe it sounds Sam saying. when he kind of leans back, he's like, "Thanks, Sam. You're welcome. This is the whole point of this."
Look, it's a little different when I'm vamping myself than when I'm vamping all of you.
We don't need all of us. Just Durgan and I.
Okay.
And Orphanus.
And Orphanus.
The party just keeps getting larger. How many? Why are you going?
Because I know I can get it done.
He's right, you don't really need to.
Yeah.
I don't want to play moderator of your little group here, but it looks like you have some internal party issues.
Why should that affect whether or not we do this?
Look, man, I'm putting my life on the line to go into the Underdark.
So the more people you bamf, the more dangerous it is.
This is, yes, exponentially so.
I don't need to go.
I think he needs to come more than you, Davian.
I know the customs just as well as Orphanus.
I would be surprised if that were true.
My knowledge of the lore is better than your knowledge of the lore.
Have a lore roll off.
It's a lot different than curing it than being there.
For sure. I know the customs. And besides, it doesn't matter. We're just doing a deal with the Queen. All I can say is that if we don't make our minds up soon, Durgan's not going to live for very long, to be frank.
Durin's kind of.
You're not wrong. This is what I've been trying to say.
When David has
He's so in the party.
No, like Durgan anymore. You're not gonna. I'm just messing with you.
I think the wise course of action is Orphanus, if a limited number of us go, that Orphanus and Durgan go, and if we need to throw on another Davian, but probably Orphanus and Durgan.
I sense that winning has other issues besides just the number of people.
Of course.
Well, to put it bluntly, you're going into enemy territory, lad. I don't exactly scream, Draenei friend.
Fair.
And the High Council has not always been amenable to the Draenei, and the Draenei have not always been amenable to the High Council.
They don't need to know you're with the High Council.
In a perfect world, they wouldn't even need to know I'm there. I'm certainly not telling them that I'm part of the High Council.
And then going back in the direction says, "You come over." He's like,
Look, we'll talk about the details amongst ourselves. You seem willing to take two, correct?
and when Samuel was here, I'd have him make a charisma check to persuade him. But I don't know his stats, so
10.
I
10.
It's Samuel, it's Davian.
I'll just. Here he is. He's gonna say natural 20 plus 12 charisma. Believe it. Okay. Well, it wasn't a natural one, but it was close.
Oh.
I'm waiting for Samuel to respond.
Can he just unmute
When he
himself?
comes up,
Can he just unmute himself?
We
Plus
don't
one,
do
plus one or
plus.
two. Okay, we'll roll with the plus two because I'm feeling charitable today. Okay. It's a 17. It's not bad. Shoot. I'll pull up my.
That's where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Alright, yeah.
I'll take two of you. But he says, you know what? I'll take a dish. Looks over at Orphanus. I'll leave you with the finger. You stay here in Basikal. I'm not taking the finger to her as well.
And on
I
that
wouldn't.
note, it's smart not to bring the stones or the other tells, since you're the one in charge of them. It would be smart for you to go.
Unless you have an alternative plan. You're the best one to keep them safe. So, you, and that blind man upstairs. And of course you. Y'all can stay here and wait. And you carry all of the trump cards still. That's the smart way to play this.
I agree.
And if there's smart, I could say anything about this is smart. He leans back, he's like, we're still bringing a tell to the Bride Queen. Yeah.
Do I remember any vamping circles public within the Underdark?
No, there wouldn't be any public.
But there might have been some private or like government outside.
Maybe. So go ahead and make another lore check or knowledge check, please.
19.
19. Okay, give me 2 seconds actually.
Nice.
I need to make sure I verify something.
Seth with these rolls tonight.
I know, man.
So
You're
19.
rolling high tonight, man.
I know, it's really crazy.
He's
I
got-
except I had that 1-7. But
On the 19. That's interesting. I will say, not public. There was no vamping circle that was public. However, you are a word does come to mind. It just flashes in your brains. Saldorian. I call it Saldorian. I don't remember exactly the significance of that. Even on a 19.
Would I know if, the League of Eyes in the Underdark, did they have any vamping circles, or what was the primary way we would leave the Underdark?
Get around?
Yeah.
Well, I can just tell you, it's fine. You would know this. The vamping circles themselves are their own inter-network. There's a limited number of them, and they were explicitly tied to the High Council, the Phalan High Council. So this is actually a recall to what Wendy already told you guys, actually. Back in that session when you guys were talking with Torin there, Wendy told you guys about this.
That vamping circle too.
One more time?
We were at the vamping
Yeah.
circle. Okay.
Exactly. So it is actually a network of within themselves. So you, as a League of Eyes member, would not have used vamping circles, but there were other methods and ways to get out.
Okay.
There were all kinds of ways: tunnels, hidden secret places. Sometimes there were teleportation stones, sending stones. There were things that were imbued, some things that weren't shadow steps. There were people who would be able to do shadow stepping and things like that to get out. Walk through thin places in the exterior walls, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But there are also just more practical ways, like smuggling your way out in all manner of different ways. Smuggling your way out was probably the most common. But towards the higher levels of the League of Eyes, there were definitely some more Phalan, more arcane. So there you go. That's my million-mile
Right.
description of that.
Sweet.
to help you.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
There's no public vamping circles.
You're right. But I know several other ways they can get us out quick.
Then why Green?
Why we need?
Then
We
Why
gotta
does
get
we
there in the
need?
first place.
We have the tablets.
He's like, what are those?
We don't
I'm,
need.
I'm sure you're familiar with these. I'm bring out a vamping tablet or whatever they call it, the teleportation tablet, and I give it to him.
Kind of takes it and he's like, I haven't seen these in a long time. Strange. And you got these from the Underdark?
From the Bright Queen.
Old technology. So unsophisticated. So unrefined. Kind of tosses it onto the table. That's the way we're getting there?
That's right.
Do you have 3?
We have all of us have one.
Yeah, everybody has one.
We don't.
That's great for you.
Yep. everybody has
Winnie
one.
doesn't need to come if we can't.
He needs to come to get us out of there. So
If we can't if we can't bamf out though, then he doesn't.
What?
If we can't bamf out,
Well,
then
So
yeah.
First of all, you wouldn't know that, Daniel. You're not privy to any of the like exposition that Aiden gave. So you also don't know about what he and his League of Eyes had like. So you don't know about this. You're sorry.
It's all good. I'm actually, you're right, Joel. But I'm okay at this point. At this point, when it's this convoluted, I'm okay with a little bit of metagaming.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you for keeping the table honest, though. If you want to metagame a little bit, that's all right. If you guys want to do a little over table talk as well, that's okay at this point. Just so you guys can understand a little bit better too. But
do you need a bamfing circle to bamf out of a place, or just?
that's a good question. That's one.
Do you need a bamfing circle to bamf out of a place? Like,
Kind of. Well, certainly helps. But I don't. Well, actually.
would you be able to successfully do it?
He's like, now that's the kicker. We can all link hands and soar off into the unknown ethereal and reform somewhere else, sure. It's certainly a lot harder without the circle itself there, but we can do it. We can do it.
Davian, do you know if first off, out of character, Simon, would Davian know where where many of the bamfing circles were? Like, not in the Underdark, but I mean, like, everywhere else, like, because what I'm wondering is, are there any, do you know any exits that, out of the Underdark that lead to a bamfing circle?
I mean, maybe.
You can. I will say where the vamping circles are is very unknown to you.
Okay.
You would not know.
Yeah,
You were just recently introduced to the concept of vamping in general.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotcha.
Well, fairly recently. Not necessarily as a formal concept of teleportation, but in the context of the Phelan High Council's vamping circuit,
Yeah, that's
it is fairly unknown to you.
I got you.
So, without having a bamfing circle, would you be willing to bamf two people out of the Underdark?
Of course. I mean, that's why I'm on there. That's why I'm there. Have to try. Having a vamping circle would surely make it a lot easier, but we can give it a shot. We can give it a whirl. Are we settled then?
I believe we are. Except, what are we going to do if the Queen denies the cure for Durgan? Right, doesn't come to it.
You don't give the tell until she shows she can.
Actually, that raises another question I had, and I'm sorry to interrupt again. What exactly are we trading for the tells? You said a cure for him?
That's right.
We don't know. And that's why I've always disliked this plan.
But do you dislike it because you don't think he can get healed ever? He's gonna die alone. Or do you not?
Poor Durkin, I'm sorry. Durgan definitely just like stops and just death stares Wayne. Or do you not like it because you actually care about the dangers of the tells? Something tells me you're a mix between the both.
That would be a fair estimate.
Cold. Cold-hearted bastard. Let me put this in plain terms then. You're trading something that is very powerful to heal someone that you don't even know is going to get healed. But you know for a fact that they will have the thing that you're bringing. It's not really a bargain, it's more of a buying in the hopes that they give you what you're paying for.
Precisely.
Oh, that's good. Just wanted to make sure everybody who was here was aware of what was going on.
Yes.
That doesn't change anybody's opinion about anything? Golly. You
It
are
should,
big
but it doesn't.
Well, I've always doubted the Bright Queen. That's why.
You should.
Whether or not we doubt the Bright Queen, some sort of action is better than inaction. We can't just leave Durgan to die. Okay, well then, let's do this. I'm tired of sitting around. We've gotten nothing
Sam's
done.
speaking here right now.
No.
He's like, we've been sitting in an inn for 2.5 hours.
No, listen.
I'm joking.
We've been sitting around. We finally gotten the thing that we've been trying to get. And if we don't do this, what is the point of fighting the Chain King at all? Other than giving Torn the Chain King.
The whole reason we came here, or the main reason I thought we came here, was to find these tells and bring them to the Bright Queen so as to help Durgan. And if we did all this, fought the Chain King, almost died doing it,
Months
and then
of questing and hard work would be for nothing. It's a waste of time and we would have no benefit.
First and foremost, I believe that we went after an arbitrary goal before we started.
No, we didn't go after a goal. We were forced to. If we don't do this, Durgan's going to die.
No, that's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about the little task we did for Evelyn that set us off track. That what took us a while.
Yes.
This was a matter of a day. We came down here and fought the Chain King. Yes, it beat the hell out of us. Yes, we've spent a lot doing so. But we, first and foremost, were racing Torin to the Chain King, if you don't remember. Because we thought he was going to steal the tells from that the Chain King was.
Well, that was only a problem because it was supposed to be for me. That was only ever an issue because I was the one that needed the tells more than Torin.
everything we've done for the past months has been to get these tells to help Durgan. And if we throw that all away now and ignore it, don't do anything,
You're right.
then we've done all this for nothing.
We've compromised already. We're giving her just one.
We're not compromising.
We're giving her only one. That's a compromise. You get to keep your tell. You get to keep your stones. And I get half of the deal that I made with you.
Orphanus, we're doing this.
I am not saying we're not. All I am saying is that this instance of giving a world power an insanely powerful item over an if, that is what I'm questioning.
And we've been
We
questioning.
might have to take the chance.
And I'm not denying
When he's like,
your
If
ability to go to the Queen and make the deal. If it does, in the end, require the second tell, I will give it to you.
so, when he kind of wipes in, is there any we could leverage, maybe? Because like you're saying, you're playing on leveled game here. Anything we could leverage to make
make sure that she's upholding her side of the bargain. Not just giving her more things, obviously, but something that we could threaten her with.
Pause. So, is there anything else we can leverage?
We could. Torn is a threat to her, isn't he?
No, I mean, I don't. You want to go after Tor? Just this is metagaming kind of right now, just so we can save some time. No, not really. You want to go after Torin to get Torin to give to the Bright Queen?
No, I'm saying Torn is a threat to the Bright Queen, isn't he? Like, doesn't he intend to, go after people who stand in the way of the... Does she stand in the way of the king that Torn supports?
Awfulness.
She's on the High Council, that's right.
Durgan at this point sits there, he thinks really hard. I might have something.
What exactly?
I think maybe the very nature of my ailment is a problem for her. And she needs it to be fixed. Maybe.
It would make sense, otherwise why would she open prison potion eater? She doesn't want.
You ever heard of 2 birds and 1 stone?
Yes.
I don't know what this thing is. I see barnacles growing out of him. I heard he coughs up seawater. What kind of leverage? I don't know. Whatever's in my head, whoever's in my head, I think knows her. Or knows of her or something else.
Kyle, do you have a potion that could act as some sort of nasty alternative if things went awry?
Plenty.
He's like, you talking necro or?
But I don't know if... I know that I have some things that can do some serious... have some detrimental side effects.
We saw
But
that
she-
last night.
Anything.
She is the Bright Queen after all.
I'm merely saying this as a bargaining tool, last resort, anything if
Oh.
you are put in such a desperate measure in which we will actually be doubting the validity of the entire mission, I should say. Could you procure a potion that, for instance, wipe out a city block?
Yes, actually. Yes, there's this one that I have designed that it is a canister of these toxic, destructive, burning gases that can be preferably launched from a ballista, and once opened will fill a very large area and burn wood or flesh and toxic. If you breathe it, it's bad.
When he kind of leaves it, he's like,
Kills him in the process.
I like this guy.
I do also have wildfire.
You realize that's what they destroyed Onslaught with.
I have a smaller amount, but yes.
He's like, I only have enough to. I better say.
We don't have time for you to create another potion,
I
so
think, yeah.
if you have wildfire, what does that do? How great an area can it cover?
Is this my time to make stats?
Huh?
Is this time for me to make stats, or do
But
you
right
guys?
now we just stick with narrative, and we'll, if we need to, we'll do that later.
Okay.
But ultimately, wildfire's destructive nature is pretty narrative, man.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of stats to total destruction and ignition.
Got it.
I had a question.
Yes.
A very technical question.
What's up?
Contacts.
Yes.
Can that technically be used for places
Yes.
and like
Yes.
okay.
Absolutely.
No abouts.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
So
if you want to if you've been somewhere before, you can roll contacts.
Okay, that's I just want to clarify that because I haven't just make sure.
I'm going to guess they
Thank you.
used probably at least 50 times more than what I have, but what I have would be enough to do some real damage to, say,
Probably about a city block.
150
Yep.
for the city.
Probably start, and it starts small, but that stuff spreads
oh,
fast.
right, yeah, and
And it ignites stone. Everything.
That's so cool.
it's like chlorine trifluoride.
Yep.
Exactly like that.
Dude, look it up. It's brutal, man. But
So hold on. The Maelstrom, Hellstorm, otherworld infernal destructive thing that gets launched from a ballista. You don't have that.
I don't have it. I've designed it, but I don't have it.
But you just happen to have wildfire on you.
Yeah. We were near the Gwydir, and we chanced upon this lookout area. The Gwydir has wards, and it was a checkpoint basically for those wards. In that, I found some ingredients as well as a vial of wildfire. It's very fortunate to find.
You're just like, makes sense you found it in Gwydir. That stuff's very illegal.
I'm sure.
He kind of just sits back. He's like, and it's not easy to make. Like, you know, what's over to you? Did you make that stuff?
It would take me a little bit, but I would need ingredients that I don't have. Yeah, so it is a little bit of a sacrifice to threaten her with that, but if it's as big of a thing as Durgan,
We're not threatening anyone. We can't at the moment. It'll be a worst case scenario if things go south. But as Durgan was saying, it's most likely that her helping Durgan is going to be helping herself.
right?
So I just say we go there, bring her the tell, make the deal, get Durgan better, and we get out of there.
I give.
Gornak can do this. Of course. Caution's never a bad idea. I don't know what that accent was.
That was
Very much blood.
blood from
blood in it.
Borovia.
No,
Scottish.
Scottish, thank you. Scottish.
Without the T, it's Scottish.
Caution's never a bad idea.
Right. I agree.
And they're like, caution means we prepare to destroy ourselves and everybody around us, and I'm here for that. Well, I mean, he's done. He is so done with this. He's like,
Alright.
when he says, but correct me if I'm wrong, that requires some semblance of preparation.
Ignition?
Are you thinking just of holding it and just we're all dying with you, or is it a different idea? Like,
I don't know, Orphaness, what are you thinking?
What do you want to know about wildfire? About igniting it?
about as much as you've seen.
Okay.
You honestly, you don't have a whole lot of knowledge about alchemy. Alchemy.
I know it was like released in the gaseous form before we saw it.
Yes, but it can also be distilled in liquid form,
And which it is.
which is more volatile.
Okay.
So gaseous form is ignited, and then you have everything is touching the gas is ignited as well. But the liquid form will expand rapidly after it's been after it's been like contained. So if it gets smashed, it will expand, and it will just everything is fuel. Everything is fuel. This green fire, just total destruction.
So
And
it's
it'll almost incinerate everything with this heat. It'll just eat it all. It's terrifyingly destructive.
The reason it's in liquid form is because it's just so condensed.
Yep. There's actually a ton of it in there.
Alrighty. Well, if we have some way of either making it a gaseous form or igniting it in some way that'll take a set time for it to explode.
It's just this. You break it, you light it.
When you kind of back of the seals up.
He's just like Kyle just juggling it around. Oh, this little thing.
I give it to the orphaness.
Don't give it to me, give it to him.
Are you leaving? Here. Careful.
Put it in my bag.
And his eyes just like.
I'm gonna put it very carefully in my bag.
Do the very best you can to not... Do the
Fall over. Wings like these guys are
Hits
just
in the
like.
chest. Dead.
Do the very best you can to not use it and bring it back.
I also give Davian one of the tablets.
Okay.
One of the
Tells.
Tells.
Okay.
And they gave my tablet to Winnie. Or I already have, so he's holding on to it still. That's okay.
Wait.
To teleportation.
damping
Uh,
tablet or teleportation tablet.
Gets a finger.
And I'm assuming he's giving me the finger as well.
Yeah, he's hesitant, but he does. He reaches down and he gets the finger and gives it to you.
Are we doing this?
Let's
do this.
You have my permission if that's worth anything.
It's not.
I know. Although actually it is. Because it is mine.
As you guys have all just kind of settled in, there's the exchange of the finger and the relics. There's just kind of this sense of just like awe as these tells and this whatever this is with the finger are passed between each other almost haphazardly, casually, and everybody kind of just settles back down again. At this point, the day is settled down a little bit. There's less of that early morning bustle, and you guys have been sitting around the same table for some hours now. And the young scholar boy comes back up again. He says,
Hello. I'm back again. Would you be interested in staying for the lunchtime? All of you?
I think some of us are leaving.
Oh, that's alright. Okay. But some of you staying, right?
Yes.
Okay, alright. Okay. You want to be wanting some lunch? Then? Lunching?
Yes, please.
Lunchtime? Okay. The same amount of copper pieces, please, sirs, for those that are staying. 1 copper equivalent to the people who will be having their food.
Equivalent.
That's the deal.
That's a big word.
Thank you.
the voice kind of
He's like, thank you, sir.
That was me singing at church.
So, can I have coppers equal to the number of people, please?
I draw 7 copper,
6.
6 copper, and I give it to the boy.
Thank you, sir.
The boy
Thank
you
you,
killed
sir.
was his brother.
so
The boy you killed was his brother.
That's a canon event.
he walks away. He's like,
Wonder where Tal's got to. It's like, I wonder where Tal's got to.
Oh my
He
god.
better not have run off without me again. He always is going on adventures.
So sad. I'm sorry, buddy.
He's gonna put it
That boy
into
looks
like a
familiar
little
to me for
fund
some
so
reason.
we
I
can
don't know
pay
why.
for the
He
funeral.
has a familiar face.
Okay.
Something looks interesting about him.
Aramore throughout the day came down and got some food and brought it back up to Bailiff. He spends all day with Bailiff. And if Isaac, you ever do come back, we will play that out.
If you ever do.
Do we want to stop now? I know it's a little bit early.
One
Well,
more thing.
hold
We're
up.
not done. Okay.
No.
I'll roll to stop. As you guys are settling in again, just kind of to the afternoon lilt, there's a sound of the horses on the outside kind of slide to a stop outside inside the front of the inn, and you hear the heavy sound of the beat. Two figures get off their horses. They're kind of dusting off their boots. And they make their way up heavily up the stairs, up to the door, and open it up and walk in. Like a jingle of their harnesses after they tie their horses up. They walk. The two figures walk up to the bar, and they lean across. One of them leans across, the other one kind of stands offward, kind of standing in front of the stairs, looking away from you guys. And the one kind of leans over, he says,
Hello? Trying to buy water for 2 horses.
and then, of course, the matron kind of walks up, she's like, yes, of course, yeah. She goes down, she's like, okay, 2 coppins, and pulls out a bucket, a leather bucket, and kind of opens it up, sets it down. And he toss some cuppins on the countertop. She kind of leaves them there for a second. Gets some water pumping. Dumps the refuse stale water that was in there and gets some of the fresh water and puts the bucket on top and takes the 2 cuppins. Oh, yeah, we don't see many of you around here. How wonderful. Well, do you want to stay the night? And then the man kind of looks across. He says, No, thank you. We're just passing on through. Grabs the water bucket and starts making his way out again. The 2 figures you see are strange in that, unlike all the miners of the group, these are uniformed. They have a very similar dress and garb. They both have clasped on their chests a half plate, kind of blackened leather covering their steel. Their arms are covered with, again, that same half plate, kind of that chained half plate with light black chainmail, and kind of just underneath like dark leathers as well. They don't have any helmet, but they have light white frills that kind of come out a little bit over around the neck. One of them is a strikingly good-looking and dashing man with kind of a curly black hair, long curly black hair that's kind of streaked with a little bit of sweat and dust from the riding. But he has very, very beautiful, kind of poofy a little bit. He's got a very striking kind of olive complexion, olive tone, with a tight jawline, a little bit of a scar on his jaw, but nothing really unassuming. Carries himself very regally. They wear half black gauntlets as well. That same kind of black leather covering some kind of steel underneath. Very well kept. Some places you see that have been resewn a little bit from use and wear, but they overall look very nice. And on their chests you see the image of, or the imprint of a lily imprinted upon their chests. That's one of them is the man. The other one is a very strikingly different figure. Tall, also carries himself with a very regal posture and poise, but is, well, let me make sure I get this right. Yes, beautiful. But his complexion and skin is a very deep blue, and his eyes are a very striking white and red. Is either a Feyor or some kind of strange mix of something. Doesn't quite seem to fit the bill completely of one race. But he carries himself with the same garb, the same dress. Both of them, of course, have what look to be 2 swords, one underneath the other, a shorter, maybe about this long of a short sword, strapped near to their sword hand, with beautifully simple and yet jewel-studded hilts, and then a longer, broader sword, both black sheathed with, again, that simple jewel-studded hilts as well, with simple crossguards, nothing too ornate, with what looks to be kind of like a mother-of-pearl twisted hilt underneath them both. But they don't carry themselves anything particular, and other than that, they don't have any other markings of note. But they both kind of have the buckets in their hand. They go out to the horses, and you can see to the same molted, kind of warped windows. They're just kind of plopping the buckets right in front of the horses. You see the blue one, the dark blue one, kind of trundle off down the street a little bit. And the young man steps back in with the black hair. He says, "You know what? I think we will take you up on those rooms for the night." Steps over, across a couple strides straight to the front of the room. He chucks some more gold on the counter from a nice brown leather purse. She kind of looks down and she says, "Oh, well, it wasn't minted here, but it'll do fine when it melts." Kind of slides it over, puts it into a pouch again, and shoves that underneath there. He says, "Just 2 rooms, or?" He says, "No, me and the rascal share one." At this point, the blue man comes back and puts what looks to be like 2 bales of hay in front of the 2 horses, and pats them on the backs. He kind of unstraps the girdles underneath them, undraws them, kicks a little bit at their hooves, knocks some of the dirt off, scratches them on their backs, and then walks in, shows them the door behind him, kind of walks over, looks at you guys, kind of nods you guys. His hair is a strange, kind of a striking cropped white atop of his blue, but he looks very young still. But he's got a very striking cropped white hair as well. And he kind of just settles in across from you guys. Very comfortable. Looks very relaxed and casual. Across and leans over. Says, "Hello. Well met."
Hi.
Hello there.
Where do you hail from?
He kind of looks around. Yeah, it's not around here. What about you?
Also not from around here.
Something similar.
Just passing through.
Yeah, something like that.
Wonderful. Me and my brother also going through. And the other one comes back and sits down and says, "You're making friends already." He's like, "Hello, I'm sure he introduced us. How are you gentlemen doing today?"
It's a lovely insignia.
"Oh, thank you. I made it myself." "I didn't, that's a lie."
I figured.
"You don't look too shabby yourselves. Looks wonderful."
As we're beaten and like covered in blood.
Oh, you guys look like crap.
We've seen better.
So he's like, yeah. I don't take it personally. Sorry, that's the wrong voice.
What are you?
No, please get back!
I don't take. Man, these accents, I get confused. I'm not that good.
Terrible GM.
I know. I'm sorry. That's okay. I don't judge any of you. You fine young men. And neither does my brother. So, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And again, I don't mean to impose. And the blue one kind of. We don't at all. We understand that it's none of our business, but it's, somewhat odd to see a collection of such strapping young men as yourselves not working and hanging around at late hours of the day around a singular table. I'm not judging in any way, but I find that to be slightly interesting.
It's a long story.
They often are. Kicks the shoes up onto the chair. I have time. Again, don't mean to be papoose.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Seth knows who they are, but does Orphanus have any idea that they? I know that any background from them.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Would they be
Left one.
curious?
Probably not. Actually, the only one in this room that would probably have an insight upon this would be Lefon.
Okay. Should I make a knowledge?
Sure, you can go.
Which is interesting that you're like one of the least informed on the 9, or at least maybe player-based knowledge.
Hey. Don't bully me. No, I'm joking. 16 total.
16? Okay, that's fine.
Or just wait until I show up. You're gonna know everything.
Okay, on a 16. Yeah. These are definitely people of House Lorea. From the land of people. Some people. You're not sure. They don't look familiar to you at all, but that sigil is certainly of House Lorea. Wonderful, wonderful. He's like, again, sorry about my brother. He can be somewhat brash, and I tend to have most of the good looks in the family. But the question still remains. Why are such a beautiful collection of young men gathered around such a wonderful table as this?
Well, we could give you a carefully crafted lie and maybe dissuade you from thinking deeper about our true intentions, but why not give you the truth?
Unless that is a ruse to make them think that what you're about
This
to
is
do.
getting far too complex.
What were your names again?
You say what?
What were your names again?
Well, check real quick. Well, I get them often confused.
Let me think of one.
Alright. I'm Ren. And this is my brother Talma.
Ren?
Ren and Talma.
Ren is the taller dude, right?
Ren is the blue one.
Oh.
Talma is the white one.
Nice to meet you.
Also, I don't think of it as the smart one and the dumb one, that works too. There you go. They're just obviously very comfortable with this whole scenario. Now when I specifically, again, I'm the more handsome one, so I do most of the front work. When I first was introduced to you, gentlemen, it was not as flattering as I now see you. Indeed, we had a much different impression based upon what we were told.
What you were told?
What were you told?
I don't remember having met you before.
You hadn't. Unfortunately, we haven't had the pleasure of making your acquaintance yet, but thankfully, we are here now. It's wonderful.
How did you know it was us? Were you here for us?
Well, you see, he kind of goes into his bag and he pulls out. Unfolds it. When you get an odd description about a man with two swords and some people who are chartering a ship out of Gridlum suspiciously, following the burning of half the city, it is rather curious that they find themselves spotted. Also, after destroying a temple, on almost the entire other side of the continent. Gentlemen, I'm not one to make assumptions in any level. I apologize. Came across as abrupt. But I wish not to confuse. You definitely have a reputation that precedes you in some realms.
It's
And this is when
Elizabeth.
Tama chimes in and says, "I can not do it with an accent, that'd be beautiful, please."
That's what he says.
I don't want to get loaded of that pretty white cloak. See, I can do that one line, but I can't do anything else. That's actually not bad, okay. Well, I would like to I would like to say we don't hail from those circles necessarily. And that although my brother might be coming across a little bit foreboding, we do not always represent the interests of all those that might have been harmed by your previous exploits. I feel like we might, although charming and beautiful as we are, may not be coming across as friendly as we intend to be.
No, you come from the land of the Nine. Why do you mind why do you mind our doings? Why do you mind what we do when we...
Let's just call it a collective interest.
Are you bounty hunters?
Dalma, we bounty hunters? Not to my knowledge, Ren. Well, you heard it from the man himself. Not bounty hunters. Again, collective interests. Look, you gotta just on the shape and he just scoots his chair forward and sits down closer to you guys and he goes,
By the way, under the table, I'm preparing to cast. I'm preparing to cast Phantom Flame on the blue one right now.
beautiful. Okay, cool.
Why the blue one?
Because he's bigger.
Scoots over and says, look, let's cut a little bit of this foreplay. You aren't the most welcome among these parts. People know about you. There's somebody on the Riven something or other. Tama, do you remember? No, can't say I do, right?
Riven Council.
That's what it was, yes. See, they know about it. They don't like you very much. So, they sent my house a beautifully sealed letter. Well, really, truly beautiful. Do you remember the seal, Tama? I do, Ren. It was beautiful. Truly was beautiful. Had the Inquisitor's mark on it, didn't it? Yes, it did. It did, Tama. That's interesting. I see some sparkle of recognition there. Good to know, good to know. You are at least aware that some people may, for whatever reason, be interested in you. So they sent a wonderfully written letter to us, basically saying that we have to find you and do something or other. I don't remember the details, do you, Tama? No, Ren. Escapes my mind. Don't remember what we're supposed to do. That's beautiful, neither do I. But seeing as how we are very far separated from whatever that was, the Riven something or other, and how that letter can't stand up and yell at us, well, we made our own decision. Isn't that right, Tama? As always, Ren. Right? We're not here to exact anything upon you. We're here... How do we want to say this, Tama? Well, Ren, probably the way you're about to say it, but you don't want to say it. It's like... Maybe you want to say it. Like... I don't know about that one, Ren. You seem like you were on a pretty well roll. I don't give a shit about what some Riven Council across the world tells us to do. I know you are gifted. I know you are powerful. And I know you care about something a little greater than yourselves. Thomas like, hey now, that's a little bit of praise. And he says, yes. You have something that is very important to some prince. That prince has given our house a lot of money. When I say a lot, do you mean truckloads? I mean truckloads of money. Get it back. Now, gents, I don't mean in any shape or form or the way to offend you, and I certainly do not want to have to cross any kind of violence with you. I'm sure you would outmatch our weak efforts. We are, after all, very unskilled in the arts of combat. That's right, sitting on our asses all day, isn't that right, Ren? Yes, it is right, Tom. We are riders, we are not fighters at all. And if you wish us to not, we will leave. But if we were to make a deal, and you were to give us this thing, which I'm sure you're aware of, this thing that we're talking about. You know what it is, right?
Yes.
Tom's like, I think they do, Ren. I think they do know what it is. Kind of looks over at the barkeeper or the innkeeper, and he's like, hey, innkeeper, would you mind giving a little bit of grog, please? Not a lot. Ren's a little bit of a lightweight, but I need something to slake my thirst. And he's like, thank you. Oh, he's looking after me. And then Tama kind of seriouses up and looks up. He goes like, look, we clean it off your slate. We tell them that we killed you,
And we would give them back whatever it is. If you don't do that, we'll still be looking for you. So we keep the money, and then Ren pops in, we keep the money.
If they told them that they'd kill us, that would put us off the map.
It's like, yes, exactly, yes.
Not for very long, I don't think.
It's the next thing we did.
What ramifications would that have on your house?
Don't know. Looks over at Alma. Hey, look, you're the older one. Alma's like, jeez. Well, let's just say it puts us in a position to get something we want.
What if you did tell them that you would kill us, and then they find out that we're not dead? What would that do for your house?
Mistakes get made all the time. Ultimately, I think that if they get what they want, and we get what we want, nobody really cares. Ren sits back. He's like,
I produced the orb. I left it up with some weed.
he goes, that is exactly what we're talking about. Now, again, gentlemen, I don't know how much you want that thing, how much you need that thing, and if you really do need it, that's fine, we'll just leave. But it would be a great boon to us to have it.
Out of character. Can I get a reminder what the thing is?
The theme is an orb that is, once you focus on it, you are transported to Thresdia into that's where we fought the dragon.
Yeah.
And that was being kept in the middle down there. And that's where we saw the mural of Alabat the Seer, and
Yeah.
Question.
that's how I'm beginning to learn Draconic.
Question is, do we need it anymore?
Do we need it anymore?
Does it
I'm
have-
sure there's
Seth?
At the least, it is a teleportation device
2 Thursday.
to Threstia.
Only 2 things.
I'm sure that if we tried it now, there's gonna be people in the tower.
Or make traps or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Do they know about the tower? I mean, okay, no, they do. The prince.
I don't know why we need it.
Aiden?
Whatever.
Yeah.
So what house did you say it was again?
Lorea. Lorea. A land of the people of the Nine. Lorea.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Alright, this is no small
I
talk.
am
Just give me
not
all
really
the.
I'm actually on it now. When I have to switch between the two, I'm just like, wow, I don't know. Whatever, what it is, I don't know. Go Irish for whatever reason.
Because we told him with Vinny's voice the whole time.
And then Ren kind of steps up and he goes, moreover, there is some other things that we might need. We're not your enemies. We're not, really. There may be others that are from the house, or others that are your enemies, even in the land, or other places in Andrea, but we are not. Me and Tom. But we might need your help. This is so stupid. It's like, what? It was your idea. He's like,
What other things do you need?
you see, we may have misplaced something pretty important. We need help finding. And how do you say this, Tom? Well, you can't do it through the means that are normal. It'll draw some unwanted attention. But you exist in a absolutely lovely inner place when you're not beholden to any government, and you're not particularly beholden to any pact, creed, or nation. And we need some neutrality. Sorry about being vague, that's about as much as we can say.
You ever had the orb moves kind of weird to me.
Yep.
He casts Phantom Flame.
But I just tap it over and like flies at him.
Stops it. Does the hang there for a second. Out of curiosity, why us? Why would you trust us?
There's multiple reasons. I think that is more of a burden than it's been staying with us for some time. Though it has granted us unique privileges, I think the very fact that we held it might have given us some unwanted attention.
He stops and he goes, before I take this, I should have you know, even though this is tied to some prince in Threstia, it's not just the prince in Threstia that wanted it back. We know a little bit more than we're letting on. But someone in the royal family wanted this back. Isn't that right, Tom? So it is, Ren.
We are going to be battling the powers that shape all of Rivia and Threstia. And it's of their own making.
Now, not to be very blunt, but we need you to help us find a dragon egg.
Precisely.
Look at we need.
Is it just any dragon egg? Or
He's just like, oh, it's a bloody dragon egg. Surprised you're not as shocked as you are, or as we expected you to be, but this is wonderful. This is great, isn't it? Yes, you're pretty used to it. You might be the right people for the job. Well, it's stuff, the orb is still floating there. We do have something for you in return.
What?
Jesus. We will just need some things from you first. How badly do you want to disappear? And that's where we're gonna end.
No!
Oh man, that should have been Gornak speaking there the entire time, man. I should not have. Man, the whole dynamic is thrown off when I don't have people here.
Come on, Sam.
You hear we miss you.
Samuel, you idiot.
We don't miss you, we just miss Gordak.
Did you get all that, Sam?
We need a bamf.
He's even here.
Right, Queen, this is just a distraction. I don't.
while y'all do that, we can.
He said Gornak misses y'all too. He said he could care less.
Just Gordak.
Well, I'm just thinking, how long before we get undisappeared again? Because we have something that we need to do.
Nope, session's over. Nope.
Drop off the edge.
Yeah.
Alright.
Somehow I doubt that. Guys, just to metagame a little bit, because we can. If we quote unquote drop off and then we show up at the Bright Queen and just continue, I don't know.
Hey, depending on what
Sus
they're
to me.
offering. Depending on what they're offering.
I think while y'all go into the Bright Queen, we could handle the
Hey, that was a good session. That was a good session. Very good.
That was good.
Like 3-4 of us, at the actual party here.
We got a lot done in that session. Not really.
Yeah.
But we actually did.
There was a good bit of talking. There's